Oh my God, there's a timer. Hey everyone, my name is Ayesha. I am a UX design intern at Clink, which is a conversational AI enterprise startup right here in Ann Arbor. I'm also a senior. I'm graduating from the University of Michigan Dearborn in like 28 days, so yay! Really excited about that. It's been a long 4 years. Today I'm going to be talking about the relationship between the success of startups in the Metro Detroit area and good UX practices. Oh my God, it changed when I wanted it to. So a little bit about my process. I interviewed over 25 startups in the Metro Detroit area, mostly Ann Arbor and Detroit. And typically these were around a half-hour interview with someone senior in their company, like a senior UX designer or a founder even. Some of the companies I interviewed include, some of them are up there, Sift, True Jobs, that's Trove over there. A couple others were My Swim Pro and Electrify. And I tried to gauge how familiar they are with UX methods and how, like user interviews, usability testing, things we're all familiar with, hopefully, and how much they really incorporate those practices into their work, and if they really had any effect. So I found that naturally there were three types of startups. So Group A incorporated UX from the beginning. Typically, they had a founder who has a lot of UX experience, or like a UX background, and they usually incorporated UX before they had a product when they were in the ideation phase. Group B incorporated UX typically 2 years after they were born. Usually, they had a product in mind, or like they already had a product in market. They had a very clear vision of where they wanted to go, and they finally had the funding to really hire a UX designer. Group C had never heard of UX, or they had heard of UX but didn't think it was necessary. We also, of course, had some outliers. My two personal favorites was a company that told me that they have a graphic designer on contract, and another company that told me that they build for themselves because they know exactly what the problem is, so they're their ideal users. So hard not to laugh with that one. I'm waiting for it to go. Okay, or not. It's not going to move. Interesting side note. Most of the groups, or most of the people in Group A were from the Detroit area, so the group that successfully implemented UX, and most of the groups that had a little bit more trouble with UX, I found were in the Ann Arbor area, which I thought was just like an interesting thing that I didn't analyze at all. Now, some of the results that came from my study, startups in Groups B and C had a slower build process than Groups A. And this was for a lot of reasons, but the main one was pivoting. So 8 out of the 8 groups in Group C and 7 out of the 10 groups in Group B were more likely to pivot, actually did pivot, with an average of 1.4 times. Most of these pivots were huge. They resulted in starting their projects over or completely abandoned projects, deleted lines of code, and just a lot of waste of time. Group B and C were also slower because they relied on customer feedback, and what that means is that they would build something, take it to the market, rely on customer feedback, and then change it. Whereas Group A would actually do that in the beginning and then build the products that their customers wanted to see. With Group B, I also found that there was kind of like a disconnect with a lot of the way what UX should be doing because they incorporated it later into their build process. So a lot of the times, the co-founders were like, we don't really know. Oh my God, I got louder. Did I get louder? Okay, cool. A lot of the times there was kind of like a disconnect on what they were doing. So this is like the worst graph ever. I know there's no access. It's like the Wikipedia of graphs and reliability. But I talked to 10 different startup founders on what they would do differently. These are startups that have failed. And the biggest thing that they would do differently was something that they couldn't fix, which was they needed more experience in the startup world. Most of these people are serial entrepreneurs, so by the second or third time, they got it down. But the second thing that they said, talking really fast, is that they would incorporate UX better, and a lot of those people actually do that. So some key takeaway from this presentation, that's DJ Khaled, in case you're not familiar with pop reference. But design works when it isn't a linear process. This is actually the build of one of the startups, the build process of one of the startups I talked to, where they said that their product strategy just like thinks about what to do and then talks to UX. UX really validates that that's possible and then talks to the developers and the marketing to really get that done. And it's not just like one thing, it happens again. Another key takeaway is that UX really allows startups to fail fast and stay lean. And I'm done. So thank you.